It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds, and welcome to the dictionary. I am Spencer, and this is episode F131. It's all about flying and flight things. Flight. All right, let's get into it. The first word, here we go, is the third form of flicker. This is a noun from 1809. Let's scoot the book over here. This is a large, barred, and spotted North American woodpecker with a brown back that completely forages on the ground for ants. Compared to red-shafted flicker and yellow-shafted flicker. So I guess some sort of shaft on those flickers are either red or yellow. And this one, well, it says it has a brown back. So is that the shaft that we're talking about? Is it's just the normal flicker, the common flicker. The species name is Colaptes auratus. And I don't know why it's called a flicker. It says probably emit of its call. What is the imitative? I can't remember what emit means in the dictionary. But yeah, maybe imitative, something like that. So is their call like a flicker? Come on. Let's do a woodpecker call. Let's search a woodpecker call, and so we can hear what that sounds like. Where is this woodpecker call? And we're gonna have to turn up this. Let's see. This is a pileated woodpecker call. This is a woodpecker call. Maybe we actually should have put in flicker. Let's add that to the mix, because then it'll be more appropriate. Northern flicker woodpecker call and drumming. Let's try this. Oh, and hello, ads. Hello, stupid ads. We're skipping you. All right. Let's see if we're gonna hear it. The northern flicker. All right, it's hitting its beak on this wooden house that somebody made. That's great. I want to hear that. Yep. Okay. It seems like it's flicker because its sound is like a repeated flicker. Okay, great. Oh, it's fun to talk about these things. That's it. That's I did not know about a woodpecker called a flicker. All right, quickly, let's move on to a sound effect. The next word is flick knife. 2 words with a hyphen. Noun from 1957. It's British, and the synonym is switchblade. But in the Britainland, they call it a flick knife, probably because you flick it with your finger and it flicks out. So I think maybe that makes more sense than switchblade. What's the switch mean in that context? That context is switch. Does it switch from a blade to a nothing? I don't know, but I think maybe a flick knife makes more sense. Next is filed. No. My dyslexia. Also, the letters look similar. It's flied, not filed. Flied is the past form of the word fly, F-L-Y. And so you flied, but also I think, a couple episodes ago we had flew. Which one do you prefer? Do you say I flied or I flew in a plane? Now we have flyer, F-L-I-E-R or F-L-Y-E-R, noun from the 15th century. Number 1, one that flies. Specifically, the synonym is airman. Airman, fighter of the ground man. Number 2 is a reckless or speculative venture. This is usually used in the phrase take a flyer. A reckless or speculative venture. Take a flyer. So it's not literally like the flyer that you print out. I need more context here. A reckless or speculative venture. You're just doing something that's maybe kind of reckless, a business, or something. I don't know. I'm having trouble with that one. Number 3 is usually spelled with the Y, and it is an advertising circular. Maybe a one piece of paper, maybe it's a folded piece of papers, it's a flyer. It's advertising something. It's a circular because it gets sent out to all the places, and it's a flyer. Oh, I don't know what else to say about flyers. There's lots of different kinds of flyers. Here, come to our show. Here, how do you deal with grief? Lots of kinds. Lots of kinds. Put out a flyer. Well, I need a babysitter. Here, take this number and call me. I'm missing a dog. That's a flyer. Why is it flyer, though? Is it you're flying it out to all the places so more people can see it? Maybe. Whew. Now we have the word flight. F-L-I-G-H-T. It's the first form. It's a big one. Noun from before the 12th century. Number 1A, an act or instance of passing through the air by the use of wings. As in, the flight of a bee. Can you pass through the air not with wings? Maybe if you have a jetpack? Is that still called flight? Does flight have to be with wings? I don't know. The flight of a bee. That's the flight of the bumblebee. Kind of. 1B, the ability to fly, as in, flight is natural to birds. Well, not all the birds. Most of the birds. There's a few birds flight is not natural to at all. I wish it was natural to me. Oh, how I wish I could fly. Number 2A, a passing through the air or through space outside the Earth's atmosphere. Is that a plane, a spaceship, a satellite, International Space Station? Are they going through flight? Because they're way up there, going through space. Number 2B, the distance covered in such a flight. What was your flight? We went 3 kilometers on our flight today. Number 2C, swift movement. That's flight, just swift movement. Yeah, I don't know why that's connected to number 2. Number 2, A and B are all about something up there going through space. But 2C, swift movement, I feel like if you're running, you might call that a flight. Oh, they went so fast, it was like their flight. They just swiftly moved. 3A, a trip made by or in an airplane or spacecraft. The trip, that one also seems more connected to number 2A and 2B. The trip, I fly every once in a while for work, and so I have taken a flight when I travel to another part of the world. 3B, a scheduled airplane trip. It's a flight. Number 4, a group of similar beings or objects flying through the air together. What are these? Well, maybe geese, any sort of bird that flies in a flock. That is a flight of birds? Is that what you're saying here? A group of similar beings or objects flying through the air together. Let's do it together. Let's go on a flight. Flight of, I don't know how that works. What are the other things? Objects. Similar objects. Well, maybe a bunch of satellites. Are they going on a flight? Number 5, a brilliant, imaginative, or unrestrained exercise or display, as in a flight of fancy. Uh, how do you describe that? Is that the best way to describe it? I mean, I don't know. They're professional dictionary writers, so they know what they're talking about. But if you said, describe the word flight in the phrase, a flight of fancy, I would not even know where to begin. A brilliant, imaginative, or unrestrained exercise or display. Well, exercise makes me think of working out, and I don't think that really fits. I don't know. A display. I mean, the flight of fancy, that whole phrase together seems like that's more of what this definition is. But what's the flight part? I don't know. Number 6A, a continuous series of stairs from one landing or floor to another. A flight of stairs. Why do we call that a flight? Is it because you're going up or down? You're going vertical in space? And that's why, but I don't know. A flight of stairs. I never thought about that. I need more information, please, and thank you. Number 6B is a series resembling a flight of stairs, and the series might be terraces or conveyors. A series of terraces that sort of look like stairs. So it's a flight of terraces or a flight of conveyors. Maybe conveyor belts? I don't know. Number 7, a unit of the U.S. Air Force below a squadron. A flight of planes, a squadron of planes. Those are different groups, different units, I guess. I don't know. Flightless is an adjective. Kiwis, birds, those birds are flightless birds. Ostriches. What else? I don't know. There's other flightless birds. I guess I'm flightless until I get into a plane. This word is from Old English flight with a Y and no G. It is akin to the Middle Dutch vlucht, which means flight. Also Old English vlogen, which means to fly. Maybe with the stairs, it's like you're going up the stairs and you feel like you're flying into the air, but you're just walking. The second form of flight is a verb from 1571. The transitive synonym is flush. Not sure. Like flushing the toilet? I'm confused. Intransitive is to rise, settle, or fly in a flock, as in geese flighting on the marsh. They are flighting because they're rising, they're settling, or they're flying. Any one of those. They're actually flying, rising to a flight, to fly, or maybe settling down from a flight. All of those are geese flighting. Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar really with this verb form of flight. But we have another one. It's the third form of flight. Noun from the 13th century. An act or instance of running away. When the big scary monster comes and tries to attack me, I'm either going to fight them, I'm going to freeze in my tracks, or I'm going to run and get the hell out of there because I don't want to be dealing with a scary monster. But maybe they just have a needle stuck in their hand, and I have something stuck in my eye. Maybe the monster has an eyelash stuck in its eye, and it just wants my help, so I shall help it. Anything else about... this one has slightly different etymology from Old High German flute, which means flight, from Old English flion, which means to flee. So somehow those two ideas of flying and fleeing came from different words and evolved in English into the same word. There's probably a reason, though, because when you're flying through the air, it's like you're running away. So, I don't know, they're very similar. Anyway. Phew. Now we have flight attendant. 2 words, noun from 1947. Now, this is interesting because it was probably in the, I don't know, 90s or so, maybe early 2000s when we were using the word stewardess or steward for the person working on a plane. But then it was like, well, no, we should be using flight attendant. But this phrase was invented in 1947, so it was around, but for some reason we were using steward or stewardess instead. Stewardesses is the longest word you can type with only one hand, your left hand, on the typical QWERTY keyboard. You go ahead, test it out yourself. It's a person who attends passengers on an airplane. That's what it is. They're attending to the people who are in flight. They're also in flight, all at the same time. Please, please, please be nice to these people. Respect them. Let them do their job. Don't be a butthead. Just be respectful because they're there for your service. They are in the service industry, but they're not just drink and food servers. They're there to help in times of stress or problems. There's a lot more going on with that job than I think people realize, more than I realize, I'm sure. So yeah, be nice to them. They can kick you out. They'll shove you out the door with a parachute. So don't mess with them. All right, next. Flight bag. 2 words, noun from 1943. Number 1, a lightweight traveling bag with zippered outside pockets. Number 2, a small canvas satchel. We don't use the word satchel enough. Satchel. You got your satchel? I got my satchel. Gonna strap it on my shoulders. Strap the satchel on the shoulders. Okay, a flight bag. I don't know. It's just whatever bag you need for your flight when you're going on a flight. It's your flight bag. It claims that it's a very specific kind of flight bag. A lightweight traveling bag with zippered outside pockets. That can describe so many things. Next is flight deck. 2 words, noun from 1924. Number 1, the uppermost complete deck of an aircraft carrier. The big old ship with the big flat top where the planes are coming in or going. So the uppermost complete deck. Now, are you talking about the very top part where the planes come in, where they go to take flight? Or is it maybe one below that? I don't really know my aircraft carriers. Number 2, the forward compartment in some airplanes is called the flight deck. Is it literally is it the room where the pilots are sitting in doing all their work with all their buttons and levers? The flight deck, maybe. Whew. Next is flight engineer. 2 words, noun from 1938. A flight crewman responsible for mechanical operation. This is a very important job. You gotta make sure that your planes are up to snuff. All of the screws are tightened, and all of the levers are also tightened. You don't want loose levers. You gotta have them just tight enough so they're not flipping and flapping all over the place. Levers on the inside, levers on the outside. Yep, flight engineer. Whew. Next is flight feather, noun from 1735. One of the quills of a bird's wing or tail that support it in flight. Compared to contour feather, which, I kind of remember reading that in the C's, but maybe the contour feather is more there to give the bird its beautiful shape. It's more of a beauty feather to make them look nice, but the flight feather is much more practical because it allows them to go up into the air and fly. I want to fly. Can I get some flight feathers, please? Next is flight lieutenant. Noun from 1914. A commissioned officer in the British Air Force who ranks with a captain in the Army. So is that the same? They rank with a captain. What does that mean? Are they the same rank? No. One's a flight lieutenant, one's a captain. I don't know the difference. That was a big plane. Now we have flight line. 2 words. Noun from 1943. A parking and servicing area for airplanes. Stephen Wright has a silly joke. I worked at the airport. What is I'm messing it up. I worked as a valet at the airport. I parked jets. I got fired because I kept on leaving the keys inside. Something like that. I think it was. I sort of got it. I haven't said that or heard that in very long. And then he says something like, I'm up on a 50-foot ladder with a coat hanger trying to open the door. What a silly man. Okay, the parking line is the parking and servicing area for airplanes. Where do they go? They go to the flight line. That's what it's called. They follow the line to go to the parking area? I don't know. Next is flight path. 2 words. Noun from 1908. The path in the air or space made or followed by something in flight. And what might that something be? It might be a particle, an airplane, or a spacecraft. Yes, they are going to follow a path, a 3-dimensional path through the air, and that is their flight path. Maybe they figured out ahead of time, put it in the computer, you could see it on the screen. That's their flight path. That's the flight that they're supposed to take, and they are going to take, and they took. Now we have flight pay. 2 words. Noun from 1928. An additional allowance paid to military personnel who take part in regular authorized aircraft flights. If the military personnel take part in regular authorized aircraft flights, what are these? They're like, we're going to fly you over someplace, so because you're taking a plane, we're going to pay you more money? Seems like it's just part of their job. Is this a special thing? Flight pay. Gonna go get my flight pay. Flight plan. Noun from circa 1936. A usually written statement, as by a pilot, of the details of an intended flight, usually filed with an authority. And examples of the thing that is going in flight would be an airplane or a spacecraft, or an aircraft or a space plane. So the flight path is probably part of the flight plan, because they're like, well, this is our plan. First of all, we're going to take off from the ground, and then we're going to fly for a while at a certain height, and we're going to go up and down a little bit when we hit some turbulence. We're going to fly through some clouds, because everybody wants to fly through clouds. We're going to have a drink. We're going to have a little snack. Maybe we're going to take a nap. Maybe we're going to watch a movie. These are all part of the pilot's flight plan. What else? And then at a certain point, we're going to decide we're going to take the plane down. We're going to bring it down softly and gently, and in a new city, a new part of the world. And then everybody will cheer and applaud and give us a standing ovation because we got them there safely. Good plan. Flight recorder. Noun from 1939. A crash-worthy instrument for recording flight data or data. Examples of the things this data that is recorded is airspeed and altitude, and probably so many other things. How it turned. That's one other thing that it might record. This is very important because if a plane crashes, they need to know what is going on, what happened with the plane. What was the pilot doing to the plane before it crashed? Was it the pilot's fault? Was it the plane's fault? Was it the person in 12C's fault? Yes, and it's crash worthy. So when the crash happens, this box of information is going to stay safe. It's the only thing that is crash worthy. We don't care about anything else. We just want to keep that little box intact. All right, next is flight suit. S-U-I-T. Noun from 1944. I think instead of wearing a fancy suit, if I go to a fancy dinner party, I'm going to wear a flight suit. It's a usually one-piece garment, especially of fire-resistant fabric, worn especially by a member of a military air crew. Yes, if the plane goes up in flames or crashes, the person inside might be a little bit protected with this fire-resistant piece of garment material. It's fire-resistant, so it's like I'm resisting the fire somewhat, but at a certain point, I can't resist the fire anymore. I can't resist you, fire. All right, we have one more word. It's flight surgeon. 2 words. Noun from 1925. A military medical officer specializing in aerospace medicine. Not just regular medicine. The kind of medicine that happens up in space. Is it different? Well, there are probably things that the body is going to react differently when it's up in the air, probably, with the pressure change. And I don't know, I mean, planes are pressurized, but I don't know. So yeah, is there supposed to be a flight surgeon on every commercial, domestic, or not just domestic, but every commercial flight? I don't know. Aerospace medicine, I've never heard of that. And I'm very curious to know, like, what certain things do you need to know about in aerospace medicine that's different from ground medicine or water medicine? And why is it a flight surgeon? Why isn't it like flight doctor? Surgeon makes me think of the only thing they know how to do is cut you up in the air when you're flying. All right, that was the last one, so we're going to pick a word of the episode. We had flicker, flick knife, flied, flyer, flight, 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 flight attendant, flight bag, flight deck, flight engineer, flight feather, flight lieutenant, flight line, flight path, flight pay, flight plan, flight recorder, flight suit, flight surgeon. We're going to have a few more flight words in the next episode. Let's see, which one do we like? Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. I don't know. Let's pick flight attendant as the word of the episode. Thank you, flight attendants, for bringing my drinks and snacks. Thank you, flight attendants. What rhymes with snacks? Nothing rhymes with snacks. Plaques, jacks, hacks. I don't know. One of those. Anyway, we can just stop that song right there. Thank you, flight attendants, for attending to my flight. All right. Next movie is we just watched this last night. It's The Lost World, Jurassic Park. This is the second Jurassic Park movie. We watched it because Sharon said to me, the new Jurassic Park movie is coming out this summer, and she has never seen any of the movies past the first one. She's seen the first one multiple times, but supposedly she's never seen any of the other Jurassic Park / World movies. So she said maybe we should watch them. And then once she realized that the new one coming out is the 7th Jurassic Dinosaur movie, I feel like maybe she is now second-guessing the idea of watching all of them. So we'll see. We watched the second one last night. You know, it's fun. nothing compares to the first one. You look at IMDb, you look at the scores for all of them, and the first one is noticeably higher than the rest of them. But they're still fun dinosaur movies. So, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. What's your rating? How do you rate the Jurassic movies? What's your order? Which ones are the best ones? Which ones are the worst ones? Are they all the worst ones? Anyway, they're fun. I like them. You know, I'm like, just go crazy, go hard, go wild. It's dinosaurs. Let's do it. All right, this is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for checking out this show. Go ahead, share this. You can email me, dictionarypod@gmail.com. You can join the Patreon for $1 a month, which will get you very early episodes. You can follow me on social media. All of this is in the show notes. You can leave a voicemail, and I will put it in the show if you are okay with that. And that's mostly it. This has been Spencer, not flying today, dispensing information. Goodbye.